Hi, Angie here. How are you? I hope you're doing good. Can you believe that it has been just over 4 months that I have been doing YouTube? I'm not quite sure if the time has gone by at a snail's pace or at warp speed. I can't quite figure it out. But one thing is for sure, it's been an interesting journey. Now I know in the grand scheme of things, 4 months is nothing because a lot of YouTubers have been here for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 12 years. They've been doing it forever. And 4 months is nothing. But yeah, it's long enough for me to pick up a couple of things. I've learned a few things, or at least I'd like to think so. So I would like to look back at some of my videos and just to see if I've made any progress or not. And then to share with you a few things that I have learned along the way. So if you're interested and if you want to take this journey with me, then you know what to do. And that is to stay exactly where you are and not go anywhere.
Touch me, touch me, just let the fun begin. Teach me.
I remember the first time I sat down to record my first video. Now it took me forever to do the video because I wrote it out, I went over it in my head a few times, I recorded it a few times. Because I just wanted it to be perfect. I mean, of course it wasn't, but I wanted it to be as good and as perfect as it could have been at the time. I'm not really a shy person, but I remember every time I pressed record on my phone, I was there hyping up myself. Okay, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to do it. I pressed record and I became so rigid and so stiff. It was ridiculous. It was like, hi, my name is Angie Brown and this is my first video. It was embarrassing. So it took me a couple of tries to do it. I remember before I actually put out the video, I showed it to a few friends and stuff like that, and I was happy with what I had done. But my friends, not so much. Anyway, let me show you. Just take a look at this. And I did my thing and I started to talk and I thought I looked good and everything looked nice. And I thought, oh my goodness, I'm really doing it. I'm an actual YouTuber. So, I did my thing. When I finished, I was pretty chuffed with it. So I sent it to my friend and he was like, no, the lighting's really rubbish. I thought, what? How? I thought, okay. I was really deflated actually. But to be fair, he does know about this stuff and he did offer to help me in any way that he could. Now, I remember that it took me quite a while to figure out the lighting and things like that. And I had gone and I'd bought like a big softbox. I bought two, which I don't use. I only use one. I bought a ring light. I bought some additional lights. I just went crazy with the lights. And because I had watched so many YouTube videos that they were talking about lighting and things like that. So, being me, I just went and got some of the stuff. And half of them I don't use now. Let's take a look at what I said about the lighting. You can buy as many lights as you want to, but I bought two. And I've got one here to the right, which is the main light. And it's at 45 degrees angle. And this is called the key light. See, I told you that I learned something. And on the other side, there's another softbox. But it's a little bit dimmer than the key light. And this is called the filler light. And once they're together, there's a shadow on your face. And underneath your eye, there's supposed to be a triangle. And this triangle is called the Rembrandt. What? I am killing it. Tell the truth, I'm killing it. And if you're really fancy, you can put another light behind you, which kind of highlights you and separates you from the background. Oh my goodness, I could teach a masterclass. Now my YouTube getup is really quite simple. It's just one softbox, a tripod with my camera. That's it. Now I have microphones. Now, if you listened to my video last week, you will know that the microphones have not been good to me. So I don't really trust the microphones because sometimes I'm recording and the whole thing is just a mess and there's no sound, and it's really irritating when that happens. Right now I'm using the microphone on my telephone. I'm sorry, after last week's experience, I need time to kind of get over it. But I do have these microphones which I got from Amazon. They do the trick, they're wireless and it's handy. They're not particularly expensive. And then I also have these microphones which you kind of plug in to the headphone. I do like this one. This is the one that I tend to use the most because sometimes the wireless ones every now and again will cut out. Well, this one, again, not particularly expensive. It has a really, really long lead and it does the job. It's got a nice audio. But this is the one that didn't work for me last week. So I'm not really its friend right now. So that's why I'm not using it. It's on punishment. It's over there in the corner. Until he knows how to act right, I'm not going to be using it again. So for this week, this is where we're at. Now for me, my worst video so far, I think it was the second one, how I made a biker cry. And this was the worst one for me because it's the only video that I've done so far that I've used a teleprompter. And again, I was watching YouTube and they say, you know, to get that professional feel, you should get a teleprompter. That way you will use less filler words. You will seem more professional. You'll seem like you know what you're doing. So I thought, well, I want to sound professional. So I went and got myself a teleprompter, wrote out all the words, put it up there. It didn't work for me. It was awful. I was like, hi, my name is Angie. Well, let me welcome to my channel, because I'm there reading, but I wasn't being myself. I didn't feel like the authentic me, and it just didn't seem right. I prefer to sit in front of the camera and just talk to you. Why do I need a teleprompter to talk about something that happened to me? That's my experience that I've lived through. It was a crazy thing to do. I don't really watch back the videos that I do, but this one in particular, can't stand to see it because I just look so awful. I feel so rigid, and you can tell that I am, and my eyes are kind of moving, you know, back and forth because I'm trying to read the teleprompter. It's a mess, but let's have a look. Doing a gig one time, and I was about halfway through the first set when the doors opened and several biker guys came in. Now, my first thought was, oh my God, they're going to really hate this music. They're not going to like it at all. Now, I don't know why I thought that, but I'm not going to lie, I did. Now, this was my third video. Look at me, look at my face. Seriously, Ange? Is that what we're doing now? I was so upset. I was in such a bad mood. It's crazy. I feel like slapping myself. I don't know what was wrong with me, but I was in such a foul mood that day. And I remember how miserable I was doing it. And I'm thinking, after 3 weeks, girl, after 3 weeks, you're there being miserable about YouTube. Somebody should have just slapped me and said, you know, and it's your fault. Yes, it's your fault watching. You should have written to me and given me a virtual slap across the face and said, girl, please, get a grip. But yeah, I was really miserable. I was really upset. And one day I seemed like I had 100 views and I went back and there was like 50. And I felt that YouTube was taking away my views. It was a mess. But yeah, let's have a look and let's have a laugh. You know what? It has been a week. Every time I've sat down to shoot this video, something has gone wrong. Everything has gone wrong. I am so hot and bothered right now. The lights are getting on my nerves. I'm ticked off. And you know what? I came to a point where I said, hell no, I ain't doing this. This is too much. I'm just going to go and fix myself a drink, go and sit down on the couch, and I'm done. I ain't making no video. That's it. Looking back, it makes me laugh to think how upset I was. It's crazy and it makes no sense. Actually, I should be embarrassed. I'm not, but I should be. Okay, so that's enough reminiscing and looking back. It's been fun. I'd like to think that I've made some progress. I'm a little bit better than where I started from. Now, let's talk more in depth about YouTube. And I want to share with you some of the positive things that for me has come out of doing YouTube. Now, before I even sat down and pressed record on my first video, I asked myself, why? Why am I doing this? Why do I want to do YouTube? Now, for all of us, for everyone who's thinking about becoming a content creator, for everyone, the why is different. There's no right reason. There's no wrong reason. It's right, whatever your reason is. Some people might be doing it because they want to keep like a diary, a video diary for the family. Some people might be doing it for financial reasons. Some people might be doing it because they want to be famous. Some people might, whatever the reason, that's fine. For me, I had just gone through a really bad year. And I wanted to do something that was different. I wanted to stretch myself and do something that I had never done before. So I decided to become a content creator. I never thought in a million years that I would go on YouTube, put my fat face in front of the whole world to see. And I thought, who on earth is going to be interested in anything that I have to say? And not only that, what would I say? What have I got to talk about? You know, and the strangest thing happened over the past few months is that some people thought that I was actually a comedian. Now that made me smile because I don't see myself as being funny, but some people were actually entertained and they enjoyed listening to me. And I realized that in itself, that I don't have a lot of followers and I don't have a lot of engagement on my channel. And we'll talk about that later. But just to know that 1 or 2 people in the world have listened to my content and have smiled because of it and have enjoyed what I've said, that is just like such a boost. It makes me feel amazing. And I think this is my why. To make someone smile, to make someone's day, to make somebody actually look forward to hearing from me. This is most definitely for me, my why. So as far as I'm concerned, that is one thing that I would suggest to you before you even think about becoming a content creator. Have a clear reason in your mind. What is your why? Now just think about it. There are so many people doing YouTube. Millions and millions of people do YouTube. There are so many channels. There's lifestyle, there's blogging, there's makeup, there's hair, there's motivational, there's everything. There's technical, there is just whatever it is you can think of, there's a channel on it. In this box here, in this YouTube world, it is so competitive. Me, I am just a drop in the ocean. To date, my last video, I think, has probably my worst viewing video. I think I checked it last night and I think I had something around 37 views, which is very little for me. And when you see that, you think, oh, okay. And seeing as it's the last video that I did, is probably the video that I worked on the most, because with every upload, you tend to get better. So with every video, you know, you're moving forward. It's probably my best one. And I'm thinking, okay. And for a second, you feel a bit deflated. You think, oh, wow, only 37 views. Wow. And then I thought to myself, then there's that glass half full, that positive spin that I would prefer to put on things. And I was thinking, if I was to put 37 people in my front room, in my living room, I wouldn't be able to move. It would seem like a hell of a lot of people. And to think that within YouTube, which is so competitive, and there are millions and millions of people doing it, and that people can choose so much, 37 people still clicked on my video and watched me. And I see the watch hours, and that people that are watching it for a long period of time. So that means that they're enjoying it. So instead of looking at it negatively and thinking, my God, it's only 37, I prefer to look at it and think, my goodness, 37 people chose to look at me. 37 people chose to click on my video and watch me. And I am so grateful for that. As a content creator, it is not easy to have to come up with new content every week. It isn't. I remember after I sat down and recorded my first video, I was like, okay, and what now? Because I hadn't thought about the second video or the third. I just wanted to get my first video under my belt. I didn't think about the second or the third or the fourth or the fifth. I had no clue what I was going to do. What I originally wanted to do on my channel was, I think a few of you may know, and that is to talk about music, interview musicians, talk about how music has changed our lives. But there's such an issue of copyright on YouTube that I thought that it was a direction that wouldn't have allowed me to take off and fly. My wings were a bit clipped. Without even realizing it, my channel has morphed into something that, quite frankly, I have no idea what it is. When I listen to YouTubers who talk about these kind of things, everybody always says, find your niche, find your niche, find your niche. But quite frankly, I have absolutely no idea what my niche is, because I like to talk about life things. I like to talk about everyday things, about being confident, about relationships, about things that annoy me, things that make me happy, music. But that's what I want to talk about. And that's not really a niche, is it? It's just, I don't know. So yeah, maybe that is a little bit of difficulty that I'm encountering, and maybe that's why I have little engagement, because people don't really know what they're going to get when they come onto my channel. I don't know, I'm just assuming. And as hard and as frustrating it may be sometimes to come up with content, to see the glass half full, you're the boss. You can decide what you want to talk about. There's nobody telling you what to do. There's nobody telling you when to do it. It's entirely up to you. You're your own boss. You can decide when and how you talk about it. And that in itself is a positive thing, right? So just embrace that. Embrace the fact that you're the one in charge and you're the one holding the reins. Now, if you're a one-man band like myself, doing everything on your own is time consuming. For me, as much as I do enjoy editing, I'm not a professional, so I'm pretty slow and it does take some time. But you know what? The glass half full is that I've learned a new skill. And when you do YouTube, you will learn so many different things. You will learn about lighting. You will learn how to sit in front of the camera and talk. It's a bit weird at first. Not everybody's able to do that, and it takes some time before you're comfortable sitting down and talking to the camera. So that's a new skill. So yeah, it's that you are going to learn so many different things, and that's going to be amazing for you. It's not something to turn your back on or to sneeze at. At least I don't think so. Now, as I said before, as a content creator, you get up. Every day you're thinking about what you're going to talk about in your next video. Now, I will research it, I will write it down, I will plan it, I'll think about what I'm going to say, I'll think about a title, I'll think about a description. You think about so many things. So of course, you set the scene for where you're going to record, the light, the tripods, the cameras, the phones. You sit down, press record, you stay there and record your video. Once you finish that, you download it onto the computer, and that takes some time. And after you've downloaded, you do editing. And if you're anything like me, you're pretty slow. So that takes a couple of days, 3, even 4, depending on how long your video is. And then you upload your video to YouTube, and you've done all of that. You're proud of what you've done, and you get 10 views. I get it. I do. It's hard to keep motivated if you think that people don't care, if you think people aren't watching. Sometimes I may think, well, where's all my friends and my family and my followers from other social media? Why aren't they here? Why aren't they engaging? But the truth is that people have their own lives. They have their own things going on. They're not going to be sitting down there every week following you, listening to you, liking and commenting. That's not really going to happen. And also another truth is, and that is that no one owes me a thumbs up. No one. You don't. You don't owe me a thumbs up. He doesn't owe me. She doesn't. Nobody owes me a thumbs up. No one owes me to write a comment on my channel. Nobody. No one does. And no one owes me a subscription. Absolutely no one. What I need to do is to concentrate on writing and doing content that people can't help but want to write a comment. They enjoy it so much that they can't help but give a thumbs up. That's what I need to do. And I can only concentrate and think about what I need to do. I can't think about friends and family and people out there. I have to think about me and the best that I can do. And obviously, if people aren't engaging as much as I would like, then that means that I need to do my job better. Now, when it comes to that, the glass half full is that if not a lot of people are watching or are engaging in your channel, that means that you are free to experiment. You can change things up. You can hone in on what you want to do, change it up a little bit, do something completely different. You still have a little bit of time to work on your channel, to work on your niche, and to experiment with different kind of topics and see what happens. So even if you're not getting the results that you would like or you think you deserve, you know what? It's still all good. Now, I know that one of the reasons that made me pause when I thought about doing YouTube, and that is, what if I got some like negative feedback and people just came to my channel to troll? Now, for me personally, as I've mentioned before, I have very little feedback, and that is a problem. It's a problem for me, and I live it as a problem, not for the algorithm of YouTube, because I don't really care about that. Having little feedback, I don't know if what I'm doing is liked. I don't know if you enjoy what I do. I don't know, because nobody says anything. Nobody says that they've enjoyed it. People don't really kind of comment. And if you go and look underneath my videos, it's usually the same people that comment on my videos. And let me take the time out to say, thank you so much for doing that. I love you all for being there for me. There's a few of you, but it's the best of you. Thank you so much for being so supportive. Week after week after week, you come out and you show up and you support me, commenting on my channel and thumbs up in my videos. I don't say it often enough, but I really appreciate it, and I love you all for doing so. Thank you. Now, I would like to challenge you, and that is, at this point, negative or positive, to leave a comment and just let me know. As I said before, you don't owe it to me, but it would be really great if just a few of you, a handful of you, would just write and let me know and say, and you know what? I think your channel talks about too much stuff. Or, and you know what? I like your channel because it's fun. Or whatever it is, whatever the reason, you have carte blanche to write and say whatever it is, just that I can have an idea if I should change things up, if I should keep things going the way it is. And I would really appreciate it if a few of you would just take up the challenge and help me out. Now, as negative as it may be sometimes to not get feedback, the glass half full for me is no one has said anything bad to me. No one has said that I suck. No one has said that my channel is crap. No one has said anything like that. So you know what? I've decided to take that as a positive. You know, I think that everybody, regardless of the line of work that one does, I think we all at some point have self-doubt. It's a natural thing. And I think as content creators, we doubt whether or not we look good in front of the camera. We doubt whether or not we're able to talk to people in the right manner, and if we're engaging enough with the audience. We self-doubt everything. And I think that's a normal thing. That really is. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's some people that are embarrassed, or they think it's a bad thing to have self-doubt and fear failure. And I say, no, it's not. To me, failure is the opportunity to do something, and because of fear, you decide not to, because you don't want to fail. That to me is failure. Now, I spoke about failure in one of my previous videos about confidence and self-esteem, and take a listen to what I said about failure. There are so many people that will never fail at anything. And you know why? Because they never try anything. They don't have the courage to try. But you know what? The glass half full, it can be frustrating, but you're getting it done. And as I motivate myself, I hope I can motivate you and say, we've got this. We have to keep going. We have to show up every week. We have to do the best that we can do. Keep putting out the content. And success, whatever success looks like for you, success will most definitely come. Thank you so much for keeping me company. It's always great seeing you, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. But until then, be kind to yourself and to others. Take care. Bye for now. Ciao.